Alright, good morning guys, and welcome back to another video. So in this video, we're actually going to review the 2023 Mitsubishi Triton Athlete.
Ingat Mitsubishi, ingat Glen Mary.
So now this over here is actually powered by a 2.4 litre turbo diesel engine that produces about 181 horsepower and 420 Newton meters of torque. Now this right here is actually provided by Mitsubishi at Glen Mary, so do check out them. Their links and their details will be provided down in the link below. Alright, so now getting back to the car. So this Triton Athlete is actually painted in this beautiful black mica color. However, you can get two other colors, which is white and also the flagship color, which is actually the orange, and they have a very specific name for that, but I cannot remember that much. However, you can find all the details for the Triton Athlete down in the description below. Alright, so now getting to the car itself, this is actually a 2023 unit with a turbo diesel engine, and it is paired to a 6-speed conventional auto transmission. Now this car surprisingly rides on 18-inch rims. However, one thing to note is that you do get front ventilated discs. However, in the back you do actually get drum brakes. Now to me this is actually quite interesting because I've never seen a pickup with rear drum brakes before, so this is actually quite interesting to see for the first time. Now for the front suspension, actually this car sits on a ladder frame chassis, and in the front you do get a double wishbone suspension, and in the back surprisingly you actually get leaf springs, which is in my opinion kind of an archaic technology. However, being that this is an off-roader, it would actually make sense why they would put a leaf spring at the back as well as double wishbone in the front, which is very interesting. Now this car is actually quite big. If I'm not mistaken, it's actually quite huge. However, the turning radius in this is actually best in its class, so it can actually turn about 5.9 meters in radius, which is actually very tight compared to all of the other competitors in the market. So without further ado, let's try and get inside the car. So getting in, you actually get keyless entry. So as you can see, you can click to lock the doors, and of course you do get auto folding mirrors, but if you want to unlock it, just click the button one more time and you can just open it up. So now the interior is actually very nice. So you do actually get a little bit of padding over here as well as some soft touch material, and over here you do get your window controls as well as your window lock controls. So since this is the full spec unit, you do actually get leather seats, which are actually very comfortable. You also get very nice side bolstering, so it's actually it hugs you, especially around corners or especially if you're off-roading. So the steering wheel, funny enough, this design of steering wheel was actually introduced in the Pajero, the 400,000 ringgit Pajero. So I'm actually glad the fact that something so premium like this made its way to the Triton, which is a very good move from Mitsubishi themselves. Of course, over here you do also get your mirror controls as well as your lights adjustment, your traction control, as well as your front collision warning. Now this car also does come with blind spot monitoring as well, so you do get that sense of safety features. Now of course you could also get a push start ignition. Now getting in the car, everything that the driver touches is actually very premium. So you do get a fully wrapped leather steering wheel, and you also get some multifunction features, such as this is for your instrument cluster, and this right here is for your radio controls. Now over here you also get pedals. However, they are actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is stainless steel. This is definitely not plastic, which is very good. You actually have something premium to touch. At the same time, you also get your signal controls as well as your wiper controls on your left over here. Now getting to the instrument cluster is actually a combination of an LCD as well as analog. So if we were to start the car, Okay, so you also get some nice animation over there, as well as some backlit. So it's actually a very good combination for a pickup truck. However, if you are planning to get something with more digital, there are definitely other options in the market. However, to me, I strongly love this design here. It's very nice and simple, and you do get all your functions, which we will get to them right shortly over here. So now, the infotainment display is, if I'm not mistaken, is an Android unit. However, it does support Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so it basically can support to whatever device that you're using, which is great. I love the fact that it comes standard within this feature. Now right down here, you also get your climate controls, so you get your temperature, your speed, your auto recirculation, your AC compressor, and your front and rear defrost, as well as your modes and the off button. Now this is a single zone climate control, so basically one zone only controls all of it. So that's the practical function of the climate control. So right down here, you actually get a hazard switch, and right over here you actually get your sonar, your, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is your rear view cameras. I think you can also switch them. Yeah. And also this, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the front sensor, but I can't exactly remember what they are called. Right in front here, you actually do get 2 USB ports, as well as a cigarette lighter. Now over here, this is the transmission, so you do get a 6-speed auto, which is also pretty nice. So you also get a plus minus, or you can actually use the pedal shifters provided in the back. Now, if you like to go off-roading, this is actually a very useful feature. So right over here, 2H stands for too high, so it basically drives the 2 wheels only, which is the front wheels. This is for normal road usage and just typical daily driving in cities or highways. So forward drive is forward drive mode, so that means the front and back wheels will start spinning. Now forward drive high, this, if I'm not mistaken, is used for off-road terrains. So if, let's say, surfaces are a lot slippery, or if you're going through like rocky areas, then this feature is suited for that. Now, 4-wheel drive low range, if I'm not mistaken, that's what it's called. This is more for hilly areas. So if, let's say, you're going on top of a mountain, or if you're sliding down, then this is actually a very useful feature. Now down over here, you also get hill descent control for controlling your speed when you're going downhill, as well as another feature to help you in your all-terrain mode. So right over here, you do get 2 cup holders, and you get a physical physical handbrake. Now opening up over here, you actually do get a very deep storage compartment, which is very good. At the same time, you also get a nicely padded, leather padded armrest. Of course, I also want to mention that the gear lever, as well as the handbrake lever, are all covered in leather, so whatever the driver touches is actually very premium. Now, one thing I should share with you guys is the fact that besides what the driver touches, everything else on the top is actually soft touch material, which actually goes through the entire cabin. And of course, you do get some silver trimming here, which are actually plastic. So that's something that you should be aware of. Of course, if we're looking down here, if you think that you want something a bit more interesting in terms of pattern, you do get this sort of weave pattern on this silver trims over here. Of course, this is plastic. Actually, most of this is all plastic. However, you do get some leather paddings on the side of the gear shift lever here, which is actually very interesting, especially if, let's say, you have very big legs, you know, you can basically rest it over here lah. So that is very interesting. Now, looking at the instrument cluster over here, you do get all your information. Currently we are on 2-wheel drive, so you can actually go you can actually cycle through. you can cycle through your cruise control as well as your other information. So this is your service, settings menu, trip A, trip B, your fuel range, if I'm not mistaken, your average fuel consumption, as well as your average fuel. Now of course over here you do get the back button, and this is how you cycle through your menus. Now of course, if I'm not mistaken, this entire menu over here is mainly used for cruise control, so you can set it. And right over here is basically to control your media controls. So you can click source, you can cycle through all the source that you have, so radio and Bluetooth. Of course, I think if you do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you can cycle through them as well. Then over here you do also get your volume controls and your search for your radio traction, radio tracks. So right above here you actually get your sunglass holder, as well as you do get some interior lights. So this is how you turn them on, and you also have a dedicated button here for your rear fans, which we'll get into in just a second. So over here you also have your lights, and this is your sun visor that you can put some stuff here if you want. Of course, the passenger sun visor do get a mirror for the passenger side. However, they are not illuminated. As you can see, when you open, they are not illuminated, so it is something that you should take consideration when you buy the car. Another thing is that you do get auto dimming mirrors, so which is very nice, and you also get a built-in dash cam, which is actually very useful. Now this car also does come with front collision warnings, as well as radar front collision warning. And basically what it does is that if let's say a car on the front stops to a halt, it will help with the emergency braking. Now that is actually a safety feature, especially for a car this big. When you're driving fast in highways and you need to slow down, this can be a very handy feature. So moving to the back over here, basically what you'll find in the front is something that you'll find at the back also. So the doors are padded as usual, as well as with soft touch materials. Now of course, one thing to mention that you do get door sills that are illuminated, which is actually very nice, very premium touch. Now getting inside, I can say that it isn't that tight. I'm actually 5'10", so since this seat is actually put all the way to the back, I do have a bit of knee room. Headroom is actually not so bad. I do get quite a lot of headroom. However, if let's say you're anywhere between 6'12" or 5'12" or 6 foot and above, I think you might have a bit of problems being stuck behind the Triton. Now, of course, you do get some air vents over here, which are very nice. However, they are not controllable. I think you can just use these as something to block your air, although it's a very interesting design. However, I'm not too sure exactly how effective they are. However, moving on over here, so you do also get some illumination for the back, as well as some controls for your fans, and you can also turn them off. Okay, this is quite an interesting design, because you can just put one button to turn it off and to turn it on, but I think it's alright. So moving to the middle over here, considering the fact that all the air vents are on the top, you actually get some storage space over here, and you also get two USB outlets. So that is actually very good. So I'm glad the fact that they didn't put a cigarette lighter at the back, because otherwise you'd have to buy a separate adapter. Rather, they just gave you a USB outlet instead, so you don't have to hassle around in getting other adapters. So you do also get some storage over here, which is great. Then at the back here, you also get some storage behind the seats. So it's over here, and that is pretty much it. Especially if you're sitting in a pickup truck, there is one thing that you should note, is the fact that you will be sitting a bit upright. So this is actually applicable to all pickup trucks. However, I will say that compared to the pickup trucks of back in the day versus now, it's a lot comfortable to sit behind the Triton, especially if you're going for long distance journeys. is actually not so bad. Now another thing you also get is that you also get a center armrest as well as two more additional cup holders, which is actually very great. Then over here you can actually fit a water bottle here if you would like. So you actually do have some storage over here to put some water bottles. And yeah, that is the back of the Triton. Nothing too complicated. It's actually very basic. So when you come to test drive the car at Mitsubishi Glenmary, it's everything that you would find. Everything is simple, basic, nothing too complicated. Alright, so let's try and look at the rear of the car. Alright, to access the rear, all you gotta do is actually open the tailgate and it just falls down here. So you actually get a very wide space in terms of storage, and you can actually put a lot of stuff over here. And you also get some tethering points. You actually get 4 if I'm not mistaken. So there's 1, 2, 3 and 4. So yeah, of course one thing to note that getting up here may be a little bit difficult. However, you have to put a little bit of elbow grease just to get up. So the Triton Athlete is actually priced just below 150,000 ringgit. In fact, specifically, it's this Athlete model costs around 149,600 ringgit. Now for that, I would say you're getting a very good package, especially considering with all the safety features provided. Now, as standard, you do get 7 airbags, and you also get a 5-year warranty or a 200,000 ringgit kilometers warranty, whichever comes first. Now to me, I think that is great. Considering that if you are someone who needs a utilitarian vehicle and you are someone that uses a daily, I think the Triton Athlete is definitely a very good car. Of course, these Triton Athletes, as well as the previous generation Tritons and the previous one before that, which was the Mitsubishi Storm, they all have been proven to be extremely reliable and extremely fuel efficient. So this car is actually the best bang for buck in my opinion, considering that, if I'm not mistaken, the Mitsubishi Triton is the second best selling pickup truck in Malaysia compared to the Hilux. So alright, so another thing to note is that all Mitsubishi Triton Athlete units are all fully imported, so they are all CBU models, so you won't get any sort of issues with, let's say, the body panels not being aligned or any sort of quality control type of problems. So that is one of the best things about CBU units, is that you get very little problems in terms of, you know, cosmetics or engine or anything like that. So of course, that is the entire review of the Mitsubishi Triton Athlete. I would like to thank Mitsubishi Glenmary for providing me this unit. Of course, if you'd like to know more about this Triton Athlete, you can contact Mitsubishi Glenmary to know furthermore, and if you want to place a booking, and then you can do it with them. Of course, all their details as well as their info will all be linked down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hope you guys enjoyed this comprehensive review. If you'd like to read about this, there will be an article linked down in the description below so you can know more. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.